July 12th, 2024, around 6 a.m., I awoke to the sound of the puppies barking. Sometimes they wake up before the guests have risen. When this happens, I use the puppy cam to tell them to be quiet and go back to sleep. This allows me to stay in bed and go back to sleep too. I reached for my phone and turned on the puppy cam. Something didn't make sense. Kimo was fast asleep, but I could hear his sister barking in the background. They do everything together, barking especially. Was he still alive? I quickly went to investigate. What I found was not at all like the view from the puppy cam. Both Kimo and Koa were wide awake and barking at something in the corner of the lanai. It was a little bird fluttering against the window. It couldn't see that freedom was only 15 feet away. Gently, I cupped it in my hands and tried to carry it to the open stairway. As tiny as a hummingbird, it kept slipping through my fingers and jumping back onto the windowsill. It didn't seem terribly afraid of me, so I kept picking it up and carrying it as far as I possibly could before it slipped through my fingers again. A couple of times, it even rode on my finger a while before jumping off. Eventually, I was able to coax it to the edge of the open doorway. I left and returned with my cell phone. I gently nudged it. It didn't fly away. I'm pushing it, but it won't leave. I decided to try and call it from the lower deck. See, it was staring at me, but it did not move. After a while, I gave up. For whatever reason, it seemed not to want to leave. I took a moment to admire the flower beginning to bloom from the snake plant my neighbor gave me, supposedly a rarity, so I filmed this along with the peculiar wild bird. Then I sat down beside my little friend. We enjoyed gazing at each other. In time, I began to wonder whether it was hungry. I went into the kitchen and came back with the nearest I could find to bird food. It took one look at the bread and flew off, disappearing into the bush. Afterwards, I found some info about my little visitor. Just a little story of all that for once I managed to capture on film.